Egyptians, the Saudis, when they lie to you, they do it with a smile. Pour your tea, tell a story that takes an hour, and when they're done, you're about ready to fall for whatever they're spinning. These guys, they just yell like, if I give you this nonsense at high volume, it won't sound so ridiculous. They aren't all bad, maybe, but most of them. Remember when they won that cricket match and almost burned down Karachi? Fesco looked into his glass. You really think Paki's the worst place in the world? Somalia's bad. Worse than this? Hotter and blacker. You think you can say that just 'cause you're black? Insult your African cousins? Mag smirked. I can say it because I'm a Marine. Let's drink to Somalia, then, Fesco said. The even worst place in the world. Somalia. See you there. 3 years. It'll be like that movie with the French chick. I always knew you were gay, George. Fesco struggled for the memory lurking in his alcohol-fogged brain. Ethan Hawke. Julie something. Gayer by the second. Before sunrise, Fesco said, triumphantly. And then his pager buzzed. He pulled it off his waist, squinted at it. The scotch had blurred his eyes, and he didn't recognize the numbers. Then he did. 36963. Code for Call Me Now from Nawiz Khan, a division chief for the ISI. Fesco slid the pager across the table to Mags. Nawiz, Mags said, wants to wish you goodbye. Fesco didn't trust the ISI, but he did trust Khan, since a blown raid in Peshawar 2 years back. He and Khan had to shoot their way out of an apartment. Khan took a round in the left thigh that night. He still favored the leg. Fesco stood, feeling the steak and the ribs twist in his gut, and headed down the hall, shielding his eyes from the fluorescent lights. He touched his thumb to the fingerprint reader beside the door of his office. Inside, he sat down heavily on the edge of his desk and called Khan, who answered after a single ring. Fesco, Khan said, somehow making the name sound glamorous. The years he'd spent at university in London had given him a soft English accent. Nawiz? May I speak freely? You asking if this line is secure? Yeah, it's secure. Also, if you're as drunk as you sound. Fesco laughed. Not quite, though it's been a long night. It has been a long night for me as well, George. But I have something you will want to see. Something or someone? Both. Big? If you're asking me, am I in line for your $50 million, the CIA's reward for the capture of Osama bin Laden? The answer is no, but, my friend, I wouldn't have called at this hour if this wasn't worth your while. You may want to let your CT team know as well. CT was agency lingo for the practice known publicly as extraordinary rendition. The letters stood for collection and transfer, snatching suspected terrorists from their home countries and holding them in American custody. My CT team, Fesco said, that's me and Mags, as you know. My men will make the rest, then, and I will give them to you as a going-away present. Them? What are you doing to me, Nawiz? The question you should be asking me is, what am I doing for you? We gonna need a G5 for this? A Gulfstream V-jet capable of carrying a dozen passengers halfway around the world without refueling, and thus the preferred method of transport for renditions. I think so. These men, it's best if they leave Pakistan. Man, you couldn't have given me a little notice? I need an hour, make some calls, and drink some coffee. That too. 1 hour, no more. 1 hour. But 90 minutes passed before Fesco and Mags rolled out the side gate of the embassy in a black Nissan sedan. The car looked stock, but its windows were bullet-resistant and its doors were reinforced with steel plates. It wasn't as sturdy as the armored Suburbans that the ambassador and the chief of station preferred, but it would stop an AK round, and it didn't attract attention. In the passenger seat, Fesco tried to rest, while his bodyguard, an ex-ranger with the unlikely name of Leslie, drove. Mags was in the back, playing a driving game on his iPod, his preferred method of relaxation before a mission. He seemed to have sobered up immediately. Fesco wished he could say the same. Even after 3 cups of coffee, he was hardly in peak form. Before he left, he had gotten a definite maybe for a rendition from Josh Orton, the assistant.